On today's Locked On Canadiens, I had literal egg on my face on Tuesday night, and that was still preferable to the Montreal Canadiens game.
You are Locked On Canadiens, your daily podcast on the Montreal Canadiens. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Locked On Canadiens. We want to thank you all for making us your first listen of the day and for making us the #1 sports podcast network. We love saying that. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL bets live all season long. My name is Laura Saba, also known as The Active Stick, and I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host, Ian Boisvert. We watched this game, so you were able to turn it off and do something else with your life. The Montreal Canadiens, again, with a rough game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, but we are here to break it down, and we're going to talk a little bit also about Habs. They need goaltending. There's no way around that. And then finally, we're going to talk about whether or not we've lost hope yet at this point in the season. Ian, I want to ask how you are, but I want to ask how you are if you eliminate the Montreal Canadiens from the equation.
I don't know. It's a loaded question, isn't it? I mean, we're all day to day.
Yeah.
I woke up today and made the mistake of going on Reddit and saw somebody say they stopped listening once I joined the show, which spoiler alert, so did I. So, I mean, I can't, it's been one of those days.
Yeah, but I do want to say that, we do have a lot of loyal listeners. The reason somebody actually said that was because somebody else was recommending us on Reddit. And right. I have to tell you, listeners, I know it's really rough right now. I know the last little while has been really tough, but I cannot tell you how much I appreciate, and both of us, how much Ian and I both appreciate, not just you listening, but you interacting, sending us mailbag questions, interacting with us on social media, recommending us to people. The Canadiens, they're in a bit of a rough spot right now, but we will always be here for you every single day, every single weekday at the very least, talking about the Habs. Maybe might take a couple of days off around the holidays, but so will the Habs. It's fine. All right.
Can I do some two positives from tonight's game?
Yes.
Can I start there? Now, these are very tongue-in-cheek.
Yes.
One, the Ottawa Senators lost in regulation. That has nothing to do with us, but we also love to see that nobody else jumped over the Canadiens in the standings.
We need that.
Yes, we need that win. The other positive is that this current version of the Montreal Canadiens is very kind to the fans in that they do not have slow burn losses. They just explode. And if you are a fan who has you're probably fans of other things. I'm wearing a t-shirt right now that says video games. Do you think there's something else I'd rather be doing on a night when the Canadiens just don't have it? Yeah, I can't do that, but you guys can.
Yeah.
The Canadiens make it very convenient for their fans by just blowing up as quickly as possible so we can go, all right, we're done. Cool. I'm gonna go play Nintendo Switch. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.
I'll see you guys later. I'll catch Locked On Canadiens in the morning.
Yes, that should be your routine. The Canadiens should be actually bankrolling us at this point, in that they keep doing this, and guys can just go, I'll listen to that dork in the video game shirt talk about it tomorrow. That's what should be happening right now.
Yes.
Outside of that, Laura, and we're going to talk about goaltending later because I think it is entirely the crux of this.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot to be drawn from a game like that. I really struggled to look into this and see anything that I can sort of pick out as, that was a neat thing that happened. Oliver Kapanen went to the net again. Cool. We didn't learn anything there.
I know, but I was very happy for him.
Yeah. I think every player on this team should just watch footage of Oliver Kapanen going and standing in front of the net. Oliver Kapanen, my mistake. See, broadcast listening to them for 2 hours, say his name wrong, makes me say it wrong. Just watch him go to the net. It's great. Yeah. Positives end there for me, though. It's pretty rough.
I think lessons are there, though. I feel like with the St. Louis game, the lessons were, Canadiens don't do that because you're a better team. I think with this game, the lessons are that the Montreal Canadiens cannot afford to hang their goaltender out to dry. Because let's be honest, at the beginning, that's what happened, right? They went up 3-0. Tampa went up 3-0. And I was just looking there and going, that's tough. As a team, defensively, they're not doing well. They need to fix that, right?
Yeah.
And that comes from within, because the only player missing off of this defense is Kaiden Guhle. It's not like Kirby Dach or Alex Newhook were considered, like Selke candidates. Like that's not, we're not looking at those guys to provide that. So as a team, they need to be better. Like the lack of Guhle is not an excuse. Now, I always want to acknowledge that these are key players they're missing. Kirby Dach, they're missing. They're missing the speed with Alex Newhook. They're missing a lot of defense with Kaiden Guhle. They're missing, even with Patrick Laine, they're missing a power play weapon, right? There's a lot that's missing. The problem is they're also missing goaltending, and there's no injury there to speak of. So we will talk about that in our second. And I think for me, like what the Montreal Canadiens did was they made it too easy for Tampa. They made it too easy for Tampa to get close to the goalie. They made it too easy for Tampa to defend. And they made it too easy for Tampa's goaltender as well. Like they did not cause any kind of, they were not tough to play against this game. You don't always have to be the better team. And you can't compete sometimes with teams that have Kucherov and Point coming back, and hey, whoever it is, like, half of Team Canada. You can't compete with that. But what you can do is you can make it tough for them to win. And when you do that, you open yourself up some opportunities for you to capitalize on mistakes or put some pressure. And the Canadiens are not doing that. I think they've forgotten how to do that. I think one thing that I have noticed as of late is that at the beginning of the season, they were banking points. We had some questions about their play, et cetera, but they were hard to play against.
Yeah. For me, you said that it's tough. It's tough to, you're not going to always play your best game against those teams like Tampa. But this is an instance of you should have played a better game against Tampa. Tampa was coming in a second half of a back-to-back, their second opponent in a row who had a back-to-back with travel, and they completely messed it up. Tampa was dealing with injuries of their own. That their goalie just played back-to-back games, gave up one goal in each of them. They lost 2-0 to Toronto, but the second one was into an empty net. This is a Tampa team that before they scored their first goal, it was their first goal in over 130 minutes of play. This was a vulnerable Tampa team, as vulnerable as they have been. And they didn't have a Victor Hedman for the second period and beyond.
Yeah.
I look at this team and I see an opportunity in front of them to take advantage of an opponent. And this is something that we've talked about on this show for a year and a half now. They lack killer instinct. They lack the ability to smell blood in the water and say, we're going after this team. And what that killer instinct does for you is if your goalie gives up a goal early, you go, we're better than them. We're getting it back.
Yeah.
I think the challenge with, and we'll talk about the goaltending, this point I'm about to make is not specifically about the goaltending. The goaltending is bad. It's been bad practically all season. The Canadiens need to stop acting so dang surprised that their goaltending sucks. And every time they give up a goal, they go, that's it. It's over. That's the part of it that I think is really crushing me, is just they give up a goal and they're kind of, they act shocked that they gave up a goal. How can you be shocked you gave up a goal? You're icing two of the worst goalies in the National Hockey League right now. You cannot be shocked that you are trailing in hockey games, that you give up goals in rapid succession. You have to bounce back. And after every goal in this game, there was no pushback. They just folded. I'm really tired of seeing that. They should not be surprised that their goaltenders are sieves right now.
And I think, what are they doing to improve that? You know what I mean? What are they doing for those goaltenders when they give up? They're literally telling those goaltenders you suck, right? There's no team mentality there either, right? You have to, they'll talk about it in the locker room afterwards, but if you're not closing ranks and trying to play better defensively or try to at least keep the puck in the opponent's zone, then the message that you're sending to the goaltenders too is that we don't have any faith in you. And I honestly feel that there have been situations when we've seen the goaltenders play well. It might not be an entire game, but it'll be like a third period or something. And it's because the Montreal Canadiens were able to do that. They were able to play better in front of the goalie, right? You hear Sam say that was the best I've felt in this entire season or whatever. Well, look at the Canadiens in the first two periods, right? So I do feel that there's it's one begets the other. And that's not to say in any way, that's not to give goaltending a pass in any way. I'm just saying there's a lot of teams that have a lot of bad goaltenders and a lot of times they can overcome it.
On the other hand, what do they call the goaltending stat when you stop the puck? It's called a save.
Yes.
It's called a save for a reason. You are saving a goal. The whole job is that puck would go in if you're not doing your job. Exactly. So like they didn't wake up and go, oh crap, I didn't realize I'm a goalie. Like the goal, that's the job, dude. To do the Mad Men quote. That's what the money's for. You gotta stop the thing. We'll talk about goaltending in a minute, though. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
We're literally going to talk about goaltending up next here on Locked On Canadiens. This episode is brought to you by Monarch. The holidays are amazing, but they can also get overwhelming fast. Travel, gifts, parties, year-end expenses. It's really easy to lose track of your money this time of year. And that's exactly why Monarch has become such a game changer for me. If you want to keep your finances under control this holiday season, you need to be using Monarch. Rated Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025, Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, simple dashboard. The holiday spending category can become a lifesaver. You can see exactly what's left in your gift and travel budget in real time. And in minutes, you can check your net worth, you can link all your accounts, and keep track of your contributions before the deadlines. It's also great for couples because you can have shared dashboards, shared goals, and fewer "wait, how much did we spend" conversations. Honestly, it can be a relationship saver. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. The holidays are here. And this year, I'm not stressing about what to wear or what to gift because the answer to both is Doer. Doer's denim and lifestyle apparel is engineered for movement and versatility, and it looks so good, whether I'm on the go, traveling, even if I'm lounging at home, going to a nice dinner party, or going to work. Doer is my go-to. And they give us the best of both worlds, combining classic jeanswear style with the kind of comfort and performance that you get from athletic wear. It's time for you to experience the comfort of Doer. I know you'll love these just like I do. Pick up a pair for yourself or as an amazing holiday gift for someone you love, just like I've been doing. Find Doer at your local retailers like Neon, Shredder, and Mech. Or shop online at doer.ca/LockedOnCanadiens. You'll get 15% off your first order. That's DUER.ca/LockedOnCanadiens for 15% off. Doer.ca/LockedOnCanadiens. Thank you for making Locked On Canadiens your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. You already live your team every day. Now, take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Canadiens with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more. All for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Go to lockedoncanadiens.supercast.com or check the link in the show notes to learn more. All right. Let's talk about goaltending. I know we've done this in the past, and I know we keep doing it, and I know we keep having to do it, but I think at the end of the day, the Montreal Canadiens need to get a goaltender. I don't know where, though. Do they grow on trees?
No. Because if there was one place on earth where that was true, it would probably be Montreal. And they would just walk outside and pluck an NHL goaltender out of the goaltending tree. Look, I mean, in this Tampa Bay game, two different goaltenders combined for 6 goals against on a little over 3 expected goals. They're just giving 3 goals a game. That cannot happen. Dobish is now, after that game, down to an .887 save percentage in 17 games. Montembeault has now dipped below 86%. He's an .856 in 15 games. All time, only 4 Habs goalies have had a worse 15 games to start the season in terms of save percentage. He's tied with Doug Soetert, who is new to me. It's just bad. And I know, like, early in this game, the first goal is Braden Point, who just beats Jaden Struble wide, which that's another player who I just am having a hard time finding patience for at this point. He beats him wide, and then he beats Dobish going far side. It's like, how do you beat a goalie going far side there? And everyone's like, oh, well, it's Braden Point. Okay, whatever. The second one is a breakaway coming out of a penalty box for Pontus Holmberg. and you go,
who I don't
okay,
remember being an NHL player. I was like, who is that guy?
he was he was a Leafs rookie, and then they screwed that up, and they were like, let's give a bunch of money to David Kampf, and then they ended up burning him anyway. And he goes in on a breakaway and he scores, and you go, my head, I went, well, it's a breakaway. Like, that's a 50-50 puck for a goaltender, essentially. But then I stopped myself and I said, no, you know what? You're supposed to stop the puck. You're allowed to stop the puck. The Canadiens this season, every goal has been a dissection of whether or not we think the goaltender could have stopped it. And when you're having that conversation with every goal against, it's over. And that's what we're doing. Montembeault comes in, second period. The first goal he gives up, he has no shot on. The Canadiens just fall apart in front of him. Okay, that's fine. The sixth goal of the game, Montembeault gets beat by a wrist shot from just inside the blue line that hits the middle of the net, and he is sliding out of it. I'm at a loss because I don't know how the Canadiens could have possibly planned for this season, knowing that last year goaltending was a strength. Montembeault was great. He played himself into international competition. He was so good. And they haven't gotten anywhere near good enough goaltender. If Montembeault was like an 890, this team would be first in the division. That's how good the rest of the team has been. I know we're all giving the defense a lot of crap, which is fine. But if Montembeault just stops the darn thing, they're probably first in the division. And I say that pretty confidently because they're right. They were within 2 points of being there tonight. Yeah. Despite the fact that Montembeault has an 856. You can't win games that way. Yeah. Like everyone says, well, the Canadiens are injured and they'll pick things up when they get healthy. I don't think the injuries are why they're losing these games. The problem with with losing these games, it's just two totally healthy dudes who are losing the games for them.
We are going to talk about this in the third segment, about, the injuries and things like that. My problem right now is that, was there anything in either of these two goaltenders' backgrounds that would have predicted this? And I think it's harder for Dobish because he looked good. He's looked good his entire career until he got here.
Yeah, and right? I mean, this season he looked good. Yeah. And then he had that one game in New Jersey where he got very emotional and cried after the game. And that kind of has been the story since then. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's had a couple big wins between now and then, but like it's like the Monstars from Space Jam just sapped all their power away. I don't understand what happened. And everyone immediately when goaltending gets bad, they go, it's the goalie coach's fault. And I just don't know how you can blame a guy who you would not give credit to when the goalies are playing well. When Montembeault was playing well last year, did anyone say Eric Raymond's name? No, nobody cared. So I find it really difficult to be the Montreal Canadiens in this situation because I don't know who's giving away a goalie right now. Nobody. There were some rumors that the Canadiens had talked to the Buffalo Sabres about Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and
he's not good.
He's not great, and that contract is a bit of an anchor. It's like $5.5 million for the next few years with a modified no trade. So he might not even agree to come to Montreal should the Canadiens want him. You are picking off the scrap heap at that point. I'm looking at Anaheim. They have 4 goalies on their roster right now because 2 of them are on injured reserve. Peter Mrazek and Lukas Dostal are on injured reserve. Is Ville Husso going to become available at some point for the Canadiens? I have no idea. I don't know how they pull themselves out of this. And the final thing I will say, it is not Fowler's turn. It is not his time to come into this team. No. They're not. While the defense has definitely played a little bit better as of late, it is not the time to put a guy you're hoping is a cornerstone of this franchise into this because you're going to Kaiden Primeau this kid. Yeah. I have no interest in doing that, and you'd have to think the Canadiens feel the same. Maybe if they were in a better situation and they needed a spot start, throw them in. But this is not that situation. No.
And that's the thing. It was evident when Sam Montembeault got sick, they called up Kapanen. I can't even say it anymore. It's fine.
I think he starts a game soon because what do you have to lose? They're already losing. What is he going to do? Accidentally stop a puck? Like, what are you talking about?
The goaltending is bad.
Yeah, everyone's argument is, well, he hasn't been great in the AHL. These two dudes haven't been great in the NHL. Like if he's bad, you are in no worse of a spot than you were currently.
You're bad anyway. You don't have.
You might as well try some stuff.
Try some stuff. All right, we're gonna leave that there for now, and we're gonna talk in our third segment because it's really important. I think at this point in the season, are we losing hope? And that's coming up in just a moment here on Locked On Canadiens. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. Maybe a receiver gets hot, or defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment with live spreads and money lines that adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up, and you can bet the next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. I myself like to spend my NFL Sundays just getting into the game and feeling closer and closer to the action with FanDuel. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so could you. Before we get into our final segment, I do want to remind everyone we do have a Friday mailbag episode, and we love your we love you listeners. We love your questions because they really do really brighten up weeks like this when the Montreal Canadiens aren't really doing us very many favors. And obviously, you ask so many thought-provoking questions. So please send us questions to lockedoncanadiens@gmail.com. You can leave them in the YouTube comments, or you can reach us on social media. We're Locked On Canadiens on TikTok, Blue Sky, and on Instagram. All right, I'm just going to ask you point blank. It is now December. The time that we're recording this is December 9. Have you lost hope for this season?
No, I don't think so. I think, it's funny, you look at a playoff series, right? And a team goes down 2-1 and you're like, oh, I picked them to win in 7. This is bad. It's like, well, they'd have to lose 3 games in order for them to win in 7. So why are you mad that they lost 2? Like, this team was never, the night before the Tampa game, I watched Tampa Bay lose in regulation, and I posted on Blue Sky the Canadiens with a regulation win had a chance to be first in the division, which is not something I anticipated being true in December. And it was true, and it's not anymore. That doesn't mean they can never get back to that spot. But I think it's just, this is kind of where we kind of expected this team to be in terms of like points in the standings and actual results of games. The way they've gotten there has been a little uglier than we would have liked. Mm-hmm. Like, when was the last time the Canadiens blew out a team? And was it the game we were at?
Yeah.
I think that was it. Yeah. There hasn't been a ton of like, oh, they just completely wiped the floor with that team. They play a lot of 1-goal games. They win a lot of those 1-goal games. They've really struggled at home, which has been a real difference maker. I want to say, I want to give us a quote from a new Martyism that came out of the post game. This is from Brian Wild. Marty said, winning is temporary, character lasts forever, which I joked when we were off camera that this is a break glass in case of emergency Martyism. Like, he had this one ready to go, and he's like, they need this one tonight. The boys need this one. I'm gonna fall on this one, really get them going. Here I am talking about it. So no, long-winded way of saying I haven't lost hope. This is more or less where I expected them to be. There are a lot of positives to build on. There's one big glaring negative that I think if they find a way to fix, whether that's someone externally coming in or somebody just deciding they want to be a better goalie, I think they'll be okay. But I have not lost hope yet. I don't think you should either, listener. Like, I think we're on the cusp of something special with this team.
I think that the reason that I wanted to do this segment was actually like the egg on the face part from the intro is actually true. I was trying to whip some egg whites into stiff peaks like you do in baking. And I got it all over my face and hair, so I had to jump into the shower. But I literally had egg. And so while I was in the shower, I was having shower thoughts, and I was thinking about the excitement that all our listeners had when they were interacting with us before the team hit the ice this season, right? All our Instagram was joyful. All our YouTube comments were joyful. All our TikTok, comments and stuff were joyful, right? And we don't have that joy anymore right now because the Canadiens have hit what is like, they're still winning, but they've hit a slump. Like, to me, this is a slump, right? So I wanted to bring that back into perspective because there's going to be growing pains along the way. I think we all knew back in September that this is not a Stanley Cup winning team, but this is a team with a lot of incredible elements on it. This is a team that has promise, and sometimes the promise, they fall short, right? And so for me, I haven't lost hope for this season because I think that there's still so many special things about this team. Like, I can't be watching Juraj Slafkovsky in the last 20 games and say that there's not something special there. I can't be watching Ivan Demidov any night or even in a practice and say that there's not something special on this team, right? When I'm looking at the relationship, I know they've had a couple of games where some of their decision-making has been suspect. When I look at the relationship that Mike Matheson and Noah Dobson have built, how can I lose hope, right? Like, how can I not be excited about these guys? When I look at, like, Oliver Kapanen, and like, this guy's just like a free third line center. You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy who's too good to be playing third line center, and he will end up playing third line center, when Kirby Dach comes back. So, or if they find a 2C or whatever, right? Like, there's an embarrassment of riches on this team. But that doesn't mean that they're not young. I think the average team age is still below 26 years old. And when you look at the team I always compare them to, and I know that's a loaded comparison because of what happened like off the ice, but like the Chicago Blackhawks before they became a team that won 3 Stanley Cups in, I think it was 5 years, right? Yeah. When I look at that team and I say like this, like that's what they were doing. That's what they were building. And they got that, right? Like, we were watching the Taves and Kane relationship. Again, all of this is like, I don't want to talk about the off-ice stuff because we didn't know that then, right? But the excitement that I have about this team is like that. And they had a season just like this before they won the Stanley Cup, right? And they were, I think, 26 or 27 as an average age, right? So the Canadiens are getting there. They're not there yet. I also want to talk about Colorado. Like, they were a little bit older, a little bit more mature. They had a little bit more superstar players.
What about the Lightning we just played against?
Yeah.
What did they do before they won a Stanley Cup? Oh, nothing. They just had the greatest regular season in league history at the time, and then got swept by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Like, this stuff is not linear. Laura, I do need to interrupt you because I do need to break some news on this show, and I need to put a cliffhanger in for tomorrow's episode. You mentioned the Canadiens are young. They're getting younger. The Montreal Canadiens have recalled Owen Beck, Adam Engstrom, and Jacob Fowler from Laval. It looks like the Canadiens are going with the nuclear option in net to see if he can spark this team. Why call him up if he's not going to play, right?
Yeah.
I think that this is we're going to talk about this all day tomorrow. I'm very excited to now have this to talk about on an off day. So tune back in tomorrow for our Jacob Fowler thoughts. I just said on Blue Sky, please don't call him up. And this is exactly what they did. So spoiler alert on that one. The Canadiens have decided to shake some stuff up.
All right. Real quick. Before we go on to our Jacob Fowler extravaganza tomorrow, we have trivia.
We do.
I almost forgot.
Let's hit our trivia. Yesterday's question was about Marty St. His first goal against Montreal came in Montreal on December 17th, 2001. This current NHL head coach assisted on it. Do you know who had one of the assists on it and is currently coaching in the National Hockey League?
Is it Sheldon Keefe?
It is Sheldon Keefe. I was really surprised to see him pop up in this area of history. Yes, it was Sheldon Keefe. Ashwinder HG had it, as did Josh Dubois. So congratulations to you both for mentioning Sheldon Keefe, of all people, in our comment section on YouTube. So thank you for playing. All right, today's question. I alluded to this earlier. Through 15 games, Sam Montembeault's .856 save percentage is among the worst in Habs history. Only 4 Habs have a worse save percentage. Who, in a 15-game span to start a season, has the worst save percentage in Montreal Canadiens history? If you have the answer, put it in the comments down below this video. Let us know any way you know how, and we'll give you a shout-out on the next episode of the show.
And you heard Ian And you'll find us anywhere on social media. Like I said, we're Locked On Canadiens on TikTok, Blue Sky, and Instagram. Thank you for tuning in today to Locked On Canadiens. As I said, we're going to talk about Jacob Fowler tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a whole Jacob Fowler extravaganza episode tomorrow. Make sure you're subscribed and follow Locked On Canadiens so you get all the latest episodes. And did we make your Spotify Wrapped? Prove it on social media to secure a free month of our brand new Everydayer Club. Just tag our national Locked On Podcast Network, not us, but the podcast network, on any social platform, and we'll drop you a code. Be one of the first to join the Everydayer Club to get your favorite show ad-free and exclusive access to the members-only Discord channel. And for those of you on video, we send you to the first ever 24/7 national Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. And on audio, make sure your second listen of the day is NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL. We will see you tomorrow with our Jacob Fowler extravaganza.